Before we get started, to address Maniac, Howie Roseman doesn't wear briefs. He wears his old lady's thong. Big Sills! Happy holidays to you. Let's get it going here. That's the way you get it going. How you doing? Holy cow, man. Oh, yeah. You know what? I have never seen a football team that's 10-4 give Big Sills as much content on a daily basis. Hey, screw the Giant game. Whether they win it or not, this is more entertaining. This is massive content. This is massive content. I got to tell you, man, listening to Bozo Sirianni, now for some of you out there, you don't know who Bozo the Clown is. He was this clown back in the day when I was a kid. This is years ago. And he used to have a television special, and it was Bozo the Clown Hour. And every time Nick Sirianni gets in front of him, and by the way, Nick Sirianni is so bad behind the mic. Holy cow, this guy will give you the Beatitudes on a question. He'll lay everything. I'm like, you know, Belichick is not great behind the mic, but at least he's not great and he doesn't say anything. This Bozo goes over everything. His new name to me is Bozo Sirianni. Okay? Bozo Sirianni. And let me put some context to this. So let me get this right here. Nick Sirianni in a press conference came out today or yesterday, and he said this. We're doing basically the same shit we did a year ago. You know, the numbers will dictate that. We're not really doing anything different. So are you blaming the players? It's got to be them, not us. We're doing the same thing. It's these guys that turn the ball over. It's the quarterback. Who are you blaming, Nick? Nick goes, hey, don't blame Brian Johnson. He's doing a great job. Don't blame me. We're doing the same stuff. There's no accountability in the room. Why? That makes me know nothing's going to get better because they don't believe that they have a problem. There's not a chance. This will be a 5-win team in 2 years. Totally. You're not going to get better. You actually believe in 2 years from now you're going to be in a Super Bowl? According to the coach, it's the player's fault. We're doing the same shit. I mean, look at this. I'm going to show you something here. See, to me, it's the coaches. They suck out loud, and they lie out loud. And Bozo Sirianni is the head rooster in the hen house. So Jalen Hurts will have career attempts, career completions, career passing yards, career touchdowns. DeAndre Swift will have career carries, career yards, career touchdowns. A.J. Brown will be the first wide receiver in Philadelphia Eagle history. Listen to me now, for some of you that are dense, wide receiver to have over 100 catches in a year. Okay, I know some of you are dumb as a box of rocks. Wide receiver. He will be the first wide receiver to have 100 catches in your franchise's career. That's 115 he's trending to. He'll have all-time receiving yards, 1,596. Devontae Smith, this will be the second year in a row he's going to go over 90 catches. This will be the second time in 3 years that he's had 1,000 yards in receiving, 1,162, and he'll have a record for touchdowns. All these guys are having career years. You see, Nick is what I and Jimmy Johnson call a guy who likes to put numbers up and a guy who doesn't see that putting the numbers up, now that they've caught you, and now that you haven't evolved as a play caller, there's no coincidence when Steichen left. Steichen would have evolved the offense. Nick can't. He's not a very good play caller. And you got a not very good play caller. And he's proven, and get this, this is not a theory. We've seen it when he had the play calling at 2-5. He's not good. Shane saved that franchise and Hurts and elevated Hurts. He leaves the building. There's no coincidence that Jalen Hurts leads the NFL in turnovers. And they're telling him where to throw the ball. Can I tell you why last year was more successful? Shane had a feel for the offense and for Hurts. And he knew where to go with the ball because you know what he does? And I hear everyone missing this point. Why is it so important this year for the Eagle offense and the coordinator, the head coach, to have Jalen Hurts make the hard pass versus the easiest pass? That was a great example when they tried to force that ball into Devontae or A.J. Brown and Devontae was wide open underneath. Why would you make Jalen Hurts throw a low percentage pass when you had a guy wide open? This is what they're doing now in Buffalo to Josh Allen. Why not make the easier pass? Why is it compelling to you to have to try to make the difficult pass? Why? Why do you want to do that? There's easy passes all over. When you look at the 22, they were wide open. They're telling Jalen where to throw the ball. That's why he's not. And by the way, he went as far as he could because now all the defensive guys, shit, you got guys sitting at home playing Madden going, oh, here's the play for the Eagles. Dude, you telegraph it from a guy sitting on his couch eating Fritos. You're not going anywhere. Not a chance in hell. It's not getting better. And explain this to me. Hey, Nick, why do you feel compelled to have to explain yourself and explain a bad play call and try to justify it? That last play, just say it didn't work. It's simple. Why do you feel, you know why? He's sensitive, and at the end of the day, he's being attacked. His football knowledge is being attacked. And right now, they feel they have to justify what they're doing to people. That's insecurities. All you had to say was, hey, the player didn't get it done. I didn't get it done. I didn't get it done. The player didn't get it done. It was a bad call. We'd like to have that back. What's wrong with that? That's a press conference one night I'd like to hear. Starts with me? No shit, dude. Tell us something we don't know. Dude, Jermaine, it's not a one-read quarterback. They're telling him where to go with the ball. I do not believe that Jalen Hurts doesn't see Devontae Smith wide open underneath. I do not believe that. He did a year ago. He did a year ago. I do not believe that. I think they're telling him where he has made more tougher throws. Do you agree with me that they have asked Jalen Hurts to make more tougher throws this year than they have in the last 2 years? Almost every throw is a high percentage turnover throw. Do you not agree? That A.J. Brown play was a prime example of that. And here's something else Bozo Sirianni put out there. So let me get this right. This Bozo coach actually got in front of a microphone and Tone, correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I'm going to kind of paraphrase it here. Desai is making the defensive game plan, and he's putting the game plan together. It's his. Patricia's going to be the play caller. You got too many cooks in the kitchen. So wait, you got a guy Making a game. This is exactly what's going on offense. They expose themselves to you. People are making the offensive game plan. And Brian Johnson, it isn't his fault. It's just following orders. You think they're going to do one thing different on one side of the ball fundamentally and organizationally? And they're going to do one thing different? That is a fundamental decision on how you go and put a game plan together. So get this. This is what they do on. I now know what they do on offense. Nick talks too much. I've said it before. Dude, this guy, he over-explains, and then he puts his foot in his mouth. And this guy, again, he exposes what he does in the organization, what they do. So get this. Now, let me ask you here. Think about this for a second here. Sean Desai is going to put the game plan together, and Matt Patricia is going to be the play caller. Now I know when Nick says, this is my game plan, Brian Johnson's the play caller. That's what you have here. Last year, it was Shane Steichen who was the play caller. And Shane Steichen proved to be a star play caller. You have a training wheels play caller and a bad coordinator. You think they're doing one thing different on one side of the ball to the other? Look at how many people you have making decisions for your offense and defense. You have no clarity. You have zero clarity. Joe Brady calls that offense. Sean McDermott's not calling that. Josh Allen he is the most unguardable player right now in the league. All he needed was direction. Look at him. There's not a better quarterback in the NFL right now than that guy. And I think they fixed him. He looks insane great. Because they have a person that understands how to win ball games, not just put up giant numbers. Okay, this guy has gone. It looks like Brian Dable again. Yeah, but Barb, McDermott's not good. At least he knows it. And he turned it over. Hey, I'll say this. Joe Brady may have saved Sean McDermott's job. And the organization is going to look at that at the end. Hey, he made the right call. He got rid of Dorsey. That's what a head coach does. He excludes himself from the conversation when he's not qualified. Your coach is a bozo. He's a bozo. These press conferences, and by the way, your pathetic Philadelphia media, some of them, making excuses for what Nick maybe thought that he should have said, and he didn't mean that the other day with the pass interference. He's a freaking bozo. Stop doing that. I know it's desperately important for you to have your lunch at the NovaCare Center. And I know you don't really like getting calls from Bob Lang and them dudes. Really? You compromise your own integrity on how you cover the team by saying something dumb? It's so pathetic. I mean, you can't look at what you're watching. Or how about a week of lies? Now, this is a week of, do you know what Bob Lang and the entire PR department for the Eagles and the Eagle coaches are doing? They're in their hazmat suits. Okay? They're in their hazmat suits right now, and they're in Chernobyl cleanup because of what's been going on. The problem is the core's still leaking, and they got to somehow try to divert away from what's going on. It's important. They got to do. Hey, mark my words. There'll be something that they'll try to do to divert away from this conversation and the heat that Nick has on him. You see, there's two people that don't have heat on him, Howie and the owner. And they're the ones causing this. And this does go back to 17. Actually, 2020. When the battle for power in the organization came to a head. Okay, this is the 2020 stuff. Doug wanted one thing. Howie wanted another. And the owner had to come in and make a decision. You know why Jeffrey Lurie will always side on Howie Roseman's side? Because he controls his wallet. And that's why you shopped at the dollar store for your defensive football players. Because the owner wants to have high-powered offense. That's why they're forcing Hurts to throw high percentage turnover plays. They want it chucked down the field. You should have just hired Bruce Arians. No risk it, no biscuit. That's what you basically have here. It's no risk it, no biscuit. Okay? Here. And know this. You know, people can get mad at me all you want. You got a bozo coach, meddling owner. No wonder you've underachieved. That organization with the players that you've had in that building, you should have 4 Super Bowls. Easy to see why you don't. Get in your own way. You shoot yourself in the foot, and that's why you've underachieved. Baltimore's a better franchise than you. They've won more. Pittsburgh will always be. 1 Super Bowl in 30 years with the coaches that you've had in the building and the meddling that you've had in the building has stopped you from being successful. I mean, I've never seen a week of lies and then this week. This guy's a bozo. He's the worst coach you've had since Chip Kelly. At least in telling the truth. At least Chip Kelly was an asshole, and you knew it. This guy tells you one thing and does another, and lies to your face every day. Every day he lies to you. Do you really believe anything that comes out of those press conferences? Do you? Not a coach worth his weight would take that Eagle job. That's why they hire stiffs. I'll give Roseman this. Structurally, they know how to put a team together, but they won't know how to win the game again. He fell into, 90% Doug, 10% Howie. And it's continuing the trend. Pretty soon it's going to be all Doug. You had to fire him. Because you know what you can't have? A symbol of authority in the building. You see, Doug and Andy Reid were the symbols of authority. They had to get them guys out of there so that they can have complete control. Once Steichen and Gannon left, they grabbed complete control and they're ruining a quarterback right in front of your eyes with lies, bullshit, justifying a bad – get this. So you justify a bad play. Why? How about this? Even if some of you in here hate me, it's okay. I don't care. I just care you watch. Justify Sirianni justifying himself that the last play of the game was a good call, and they're good with it. Justify it. Go ahead. Justify it. And let me throw something else at you here. You think Doug Peterson could go to Chicago and turn Chicago around, or Nick Sirianni could go to Chicago and turn the Bears around, like Doug has turned Jacksonville around? It's going to be a slow putt down there. It's been decades of shit football and shit decisions and personnel. How many years has the Jaguars had the number 1 pick or the top 5 picks in the draft? 2 decades? It's going to take time to turn that thing around. But he's trying to win his second division title. I'm going to flat out tell you here. You got a bozo for a coach. You get a bozo. And they're blaming the Sirianni blamed the players. And now you have Jalen Hurts coming out and what's the phrase you want to use? Clarifying? Why? Did the PR department make him do that? Hey, we need you to clarify what you said. Why? I don't have to do that. You don't like it, Bob? That's tough shit. So you're telling the quarterback what to say now? That you had to clarify it? Jalen Hurts doesn't owe any clarification when he calls someone out. Because now, get this. No disrespect, Jalen. When you called someone out Sunday after the game, now it loses its meaning with your apologies and your backtracking. And on top of that, you're cowering to the organization so you could clarify yourself. Now it means shit. That's not leadership. That's being a follower. You might want to grow into being a better leader than that. When you say something, know the moment, okay? Because it has impact at the moment, not 18 days later. Try being a better leader. Try being more assertive. Stick to your ways. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. You completely have lost credibility yourself. They made you lose credibility by apologizing, or what's the code word for apologizing? Clarifying. Jesus criminy, man. When you say something that you're hoping to have an impactful comment to that will shake the room up, don't be afraid of what you said. Stick to your guns, son. You completely have lost your credibility there. It seems that the quarterback and now Bozo Sirianni is losing credibility everywhere. Now, maybe this is Jalen learning because you know what's going to happen. And I mean this with all my heart. Jalen Hurts is going to be Doug Peterson soon. And he's going to start fighting. He's going to start fighting back because Bozo Sirianni's not. Jalen's going to start fighting back. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. And then you know what you're going to get? You know what else I'll say? I heard Rob on with Tone. They were talking about Wentz, and they're two different situations. They are. I don't believe that the organization and the PR department and the people in the PR department weren't sending out false intel on Wentz and spreading false news and fake news about Wentz in the locker room. I don't believe that they didn't do that. I'm not saying Carson has great character, but I don't believe that they didn't have anything to do with it. Shit, you ran Doug out of the building and you sabotaged his last year in Philly. Why wouldn't you sabotage Wentz? Control. Some of you will believe anything. My God almighty, what kind of sports talk people have you been listening to for 30 years? I hear people sometimes go, no, it can't be the coordinator. Really? It can't be the organization. Guys, why? You trust them? So, yeah, God-fearing guy in Carson Wentz. They called him a cancer. And what, you just think that the Eagles didn't do anything to stop that? They didn't do anything to hide that comment. They didn't tell people on the radio to stop saying that. Bob Lane controls everything. They wanted that narrative out on him. And I'm going to get to a topic here in a minute. You'll buy anything. These last 2 weeks have been very entertaining. Who do you play again? Oh, that's right. You got the Giants. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe it. You still got 3 games left. You know what? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day here who you're playing. Because you've got to, and I don't know you can. You have low self-esteem right now. You have very little character, and you have very little poise, and you've melted down. Just watch an interview. Go ahead, just watch one. And I'm sure some of you will see something completely different than me because many of you do. That's okay. I've talked this way for 2 years. And I really did think that they were going to put quality people behind Hurts. Because you know why? We gave him the benefit of the doubt in 22. That's gone, Hoss. You're the same. You're the same draft guy I thought you were. Horrible. You're the same. The only thing you're good at is being a CPA. You're a great deal constructor. You know how to move money around, and you rob Peter to pay Paul. Okay? Jesus, Griminy. You believe anything. Phew. Here, now let me do this because I was kind of expanding on it a little bit. Let's get to the topics. Hey, brotherly love, 215. You're winning because of you're winning because of the character that you have in the locker room. Your lack of character is coaching and organizationally. They think they know better. It's why you have won Super Bowl, and you fell into it. Thank God you had Doug. You think if Nick Sirianni's the head football, let me ask you this. You think if Nick Sirianni's the head football coach of the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, they win it? Do you think the coaching staff that you have right now, if they were the head coaches and coordinators of that 17 team, do you think you win the Super Bowl? Do you? Okay, well, let's do this. If you had all those coaches in 17, 11 months ago, do you win that Super Bowl in Arizona? It's simple. It's simple. Here's the topics. Has the organization lost the locker room again? Have they lost the locker room again? I mean, I heard Tone say it's similar to the stuff with Wentz. It totally is. History repeats itself. Behavior in adversity repeats itself because it exposes who you are. They'll start get this. If they lose one of these giant games, God forbid you lose the Gannon game, there will be finger pointing everywhere. And get this, if they lose one of the giant games and they get bounced in the opening round, Nick Sirianni next year will be on the hot seat. Because you know what they'll come out and say? Hey, we got a really great team. We just don't have the right guy. And the record won't matter. Won't matter. Just won't matter. Have they lost the locker room? Let me tell you why I think they have. Ask yourself this. This is what they're trying to convey to you. That last week, they had told Sean Desai that he was no longer going to be the play caller. And he got up in front of everybody. And so basically, he had to lie to everyone. Did Nick go to his team and his coaches and everyone in the organization and say, hey, look, let's not leak this out, but we're doing this, and we need you to lie all week? So just when anyone asks you a question, just lie. What up, brother maniac? I mean, what coach has credibility when you're asking your players and staff to lie for the guys upstairs? What kind of coaching organization is that? What kind of business is that? When the bosses above lie to the employees every day they're in the building. Hey, they sabotaged and smeared Wentz, and they smeared Doug. Did they not? Nick Sirianni yesterday, not my fault. We're doing the same shit we did a year ago, and we're going to continue to do it. Nothing's wrong here. Nothing's wrong here. Really? Again, all I'm asking you, the guy, to do is do this for me. All you need to know about Bozo Sirianni. Why are you defending a play that everyone knows was a poor play call? Why would you defend that? There's only one reason. That came from the owner's son's office. That's how you keep your job. Walking around on Howie Roseman knee pads. That's how you keep your job. That's how you pass judgment on someone else and responsibility. See, when you become a coach in Philly, you have to understand you're a fall guy in Philly if it doesn't work. Again, like I said, you know the difference between Bozo Sirianni and Chip Kelly? One more time, Chip's an asshole. We get it. What's Bozo Sirianni's excuse? He's a liar? I'd rather have a guy who's an asshole than a liar. I'd rather play for an asshole than a liar. Wouldn't you? And by the way, organization, smearing Chip, not that Chip did a good job. I'm not justifying it. But they smear people. This has been some 10 days. How could you sabotage a 10-4 team? Why would you do that? You gave the guy, hey, you gave Wentz the money, and all of a sudden it was the beginning of the end for him. As soon as he signed the contract, and then you gave Hurts the money, and the first thing you do is try changing him? Kudos to Doug for winning the Super Bowl. 95 Doug, 5 Howie. That's now the percentage. One more time. Look at what Doug's doing down in Jacksonville. He'll win his second straight division title. Jacksonville. shitty organization, horrible ownership, hired and came out of Urban Liar, and he's turned the thing around, and he's going to win 2 division titles in Jacksonville. Jacksonville. We're not talking about the Packers, the Cowboys, the Steelers. We're talking about a guy who turned that franchise back around. I don't know. Hey, have the Jags ever won 2 division titles in a row? So Doug's 2 first years in Jacksonville, he'll win a division title each year he's there. I'll say this to you one more time. In the next 10 years, who do you think has more division titles, Bozo Sirianni or him? You know, we went back and looked at that 20-year, how he made sure he didn't make any moves that year. He never wanted to turn anything around. He wanted that guy to fail. He's good at sabotage. All you got to remember is that game he rigged. Oh, was it the Washington game? Was it the Giant? Oh, it was Washington, right? Yeah, you rigged the Washington game. You pulled all your starters and you put some shitty quarterback in. That's a nice send-off, wasn't it, for Doug? Kind of put an exclamation point on pure sabotage. You even sat Hurts in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Right? You think if you're capable of that, you're capable of anything. Here, let's go here and why I'm so ass deep into this. This is what happens when you don't have checks and balances for your GM and you give complete control to someone. There's no, he doesn't answer to anybody. And the owner is not a football man. Can't help but notice similarities with this offense in 2021 team. Totally. Well, Nick called the game. Big plays first, foremost, greedy and vanilla. Absolutely. Here's something else too. 48. Think about this. Nick Sirianni is asking Jalen Hurts to make tougher throws in his offense. You saw it in that Seattle game. There were at least, would you not agree? There were at least 15 open passes that were much easier to get the ball to, that could have opened up the run game more. You had wide open guys everywhere. Why not have Hurts check down? Why not have Jalen throw to the... Why is it so important for the owner and his kid and Howie, and I guess lap boy Bozo Sirianni, to have plays down to... You're sabotaging this thing. This is the problem that I have. You're good. You're a good football team. You're a good football team. You are. You can't beat the Dolphins the way you do. You can't beat the Chiefs in Kansas City the way you did. You can't beat Dallas at home like that. I told you the Rams may make the playoffs. I told you they were good early in the year. You don't beat teams like that if you're not good. You're good. Why are you doing this to yourselves? Look at Eagle fan. Sirianni's undefeated versus Doug. Yeah, well, here, bang. Take that fucking record, and I'll put the ring in your face. Good night. Take the day off, kid. Take the day off, kid. Dan Laurie's happy his franchise increases in value. Of course he is. That's why he made you build him Lincoln Financial. He made him wealthier. You know what would be really great? One day I wish I could do this. Hey, could you build me a house where I get no benefit, where you get no benefits from? You get no benefits, and I'm going to make you pay $15,000 to stand in line for maybe non-refundable. That maybe you get season tickets. And I'm going to use your passion against you. And you might get the money back, you might not. So I don't know. And I get all the benefits, you get no benefits, and it's my house, and I get all of it. Concessions, parking, and I get to fill it with dates. And you increase my wealth. Thank you. You really think that guy gives a shit about a Lombardi trophy or increasing his net wealth? Come on, man. You're a shark for a reason. You eat guppies. You eat guppies. Billionaires don't cut good deals with people. Sign Josh Harris. Sorry, organization would have just had to me mad because it's first down timeouts. Hey, yeah, okay. Laurie doesn't care about the city. He cares about making money. Remember, he tried to buy the Patriots first. I've been telling y'all, it's not about the Super Bowl. Cash rules. Everything around. Hey, get this. Hey, I'll say this to you. Iceberg, that's why it's more important for Howie to be in charge instead of Doug being in the building. Why is that? He controls finances. They're happy that they get into the playoffs. They're going to be happy with that. They're going to come out with some charade that they're not. All they care about is getting a home playoff game. Remember something about ownership. Do you know that not one owner makes more money than anyone else outside of the Cowboys and the Raiders in merchandise? And in the TV deals, do you know all 32 teams share in the TV deal? So when January comes, Jeffrey Lurie's cut a $475 million check from all the networks. And that goes 32 ways around the building with all the owners. Whether you're 0-16, or 0-17, or 17-0, it doesn't matter. The Cardinals make as much money as you. They share all in NFL properties. Only Raiders and Cowboys cut a separate deal because their merchandise sells more. Other than that, everyone shares. That's why when TV ratings are through the roof, you think those guys give a shit? You think anybody in Arizona gives a shit about winning a Super Bowl when he gets the same paycheck that the owner of the Eagles gets? And that's why he controls the finance. Look what he did. Jeffrey Lurie built this team the way the owner's vision was. He wanted a high-powered offense, spend all your money there, and he didn't care about defense. Spend no money there. I mean, those are facts. Dan, the only thing that can make me happy is you wearing the shirt I got you. Hey, Bear, it fits. Xander, I got it. Look, no, Bear, look. I got it on the wall. I got it on the wall. Bear, I'll put it on tomorrow. Thank you, man. He brought that to King of Prussia for me. Thank you very much, Bear. Bear, I couldn't believe it. It fit. It's great. Thank you, dude. I mean, why are you doing this to you? Hey, ask yourself this question. Why are the Eagles doing this to themselves now? So Sean Desai was fired over 2 horrible games. So he put a game plan together to beat the Chiefs. He put a game plan together to beat the Rams. He put a game plan together to beat the Dolphins. He put a game plan together to beat the Cowboys. And you thought because of the trash cans you put out there, you understand. They don't take accountability. They don't think it's the players because the front office and Howie put those trash cans on the field. They think it's Desai because he's a scapegoat. Remember, Howie hired those guys. You're trying to make Nicholas Morrow into Ray Lewis and expecting him to cover George Kittle or Jake Ferguson. Why would you think that? There's a reason those guys were cut. Why are you asking inferior players and rookies to play like Brian Dawkins? Where would you get that would happen? Because why? They wear the Eagle helmet? Bills too. Oh, well, Bills, they gave up 500 yards. Might want to put that one back in your wallet there. They gave up 505 to the Bills. Yeah. Allen was just turning it around. I'll tell you what, man, that kid is playing such great football right now. He's the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion, right now, next to Purdy. You know, it's funny. I said that last year, and I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again right now. Brock Purdy is a better situation than what Jalen Hurts is in Philly. He's a better situation. He's cheap, and he wins. And he's effective and efficient. And they got quality people around him. Look at the coordinators you got there. You got Steve Wilks and Kyle Shanahan. You got bozos in the room. Remember, hey, think about the contenders that you have. We remember, Tone, we went over this a couple days ago. Mahomes has Andy Reid, and on the other side, they have Steve Spagnuolo. Okay. In Baltimore, you have John Harbaugh, and I can't think the D coordinator's name. He's really good over there. I can't think of his name. The Rams are turning it around with Raheem Morris and Sean McVay. Let's see who else. Cowboys. You got Dan Quinn, and you got Mike McCarthy. I mean, and then you have Bozo Sirianni, Brian Johnson, and I don't know what you have on defense. A collection of you know what? You're running your defense by committee now. Is it Mike McDonald? Is that who it is, Matt? Hey, Seth, I did say that. Seth goes like this. Seth, you yourself said when we pay our quarterback, we won't be able to afford certain players. Correct. But Seth, that deal didn't kick in and doesn't kick in until 2024, March 17th. He's still on a rookie deal. How he's counting his money and his salary cap for 23 or 24 in 23. And it's effectively stopped him from bringing TJ Edwards back. Hey, get this. You guys couldn't even replace Kaiser White. And Tone and everyone's like this. Well, I don't have a problem with Kaiser White not being re-signed. Okay, neither do I. Who are you replacing him with? Nicholas Morrow? Is that an upgrade? Is Nicholas Morrow an upgrade from Kaiser White? You know, Kaiser was a little up and down. You know, was he an upgrade? Absolutely not. That's right, RTF. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I have a prediction. 2 years, you win 5 games. You're a 5-win team in 2 years. Because then the quarterback's deal kicks in. He'll be even cheaper then. You'll be shopping everything at the dollar store. It'll be interesting to see because they will not re-sign Hassan Reddick. They will not re-sign Darius Slay or Bradbury. They will clearly have to decide on what they're going to do with A.J. Brown because then that money kicks in. Cap only goes up 18%, friends. You're making it sound like it goes up $100 million every year. It only goes up 18%. The money that you're going to have to spend to keep that team intact is going to supersede what the increases are in the cap. You're not going to be able to keep everybody. That's a fact. And the reason also that you get inexperienced coordinators, anybody with their weight as a coach would come in and go, we don't have the proper personnel. I mean, look, if you're a decent coordinator and you walk in and you want me to play a certain system, and I look at the talent that you have on that field from your linebacking core to your back seven, I would look at you and go, you're not going to win. And everyone caught up with you. Do you understand that this has been something that's been a tidal wave waiting to happen? You understand that? The NFL, I have never seen a league expose a team as quickly as a really good football team. Get this. For a year and a half, you were one of the elite teams in the league. Now you're a laughingstock. How'd that happen in 14 days? And here's what's going to happen. All of you are going to come back and go, Sills, look what happened. We won these 3 games. And you're going to go 13-4, 27-7 over 2 years, and nothing to show for it. You'll be a worse version of the Bills. That team ain't no. You think that's a Super Bowl team? You don't have Super Bowl coaches even. Your general manager parades around like that's his Super Bowl. I will never give that guy credit for that thing. He went there for the ride. Worst thing ever happened to Doug Peterson was winning that thing. How he couldn't handle it. Too much ego. Couldn't handle it. He could not handle it. Because then Doug started overreaching. Started talking about the personnel that was on the team. Maybe if Nick had won the Super Bowl 11 months ago, maybe Nick would have started doing that. Maybe he would have. What's Parcells always say back in the day? If you want me to cook the dinner, at least let me shop for the groceries. Or at least let me be part of shopping for the groceries. Get this. Iceberg goes, I'd trade Micah Parsons for Smitty. Not me. I think Micah Parsons is overrated. I'll take Devontae Smith over Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has a flaw, my friend. Do you know what that is? You know what? You know what Michael Parsons' flaw is? He's not physical. Devontae Smith is more physical. Smith will resign here. He's one of the men that you look at who starts a job and wants to finish the job. That's not a guy who starts something, in my opinion, and decides to pick up his bat and ball and go somewhere else because it's not conducive for him. Get this. The man who is showing the most character of anybody on that organization has been Devontae Smith. If Devontae Smith had the ego of all the rest of the wide receivers in the National Football League, he'd be screaming at the top of the highest mountain. He'd be standing next to the Rocky statue, screaming, why aren't they throwing me the ball? He doesn't do that. That's a man of character. Hurts is coming unraveled a little bit because of the pressure and the money. Remember what Boomer Esiason said? Isn't it becoming more of a statement now? Right, Tone? Isn't it? You got to learn how to play with the money, son. I think the organization has to learn how to coach him also, and they've done a poor job of it. Jalen Hurts, today, I was disappointed in Hurts. I really was. I don't want you to clarify anything. If you got a problem, son, point people out. Call them out. This is your team, or isn't it? They're not firing you. They gave you the money. Are you afraid that they'll start their process of the Wentz factor and they'll bring out the Wentz plan on you? I might be nervous of that. I'm sure Nicole Lynn and the people at Clutch are telling them to tread lightly because of the way the organization acts. I'm very sure of it. I'm very sure people in the organization have been in contact all week long going, hey, what did he mean by that? Can you tell him to clarify? So he comes out today in the press conference, clarifies something that needed to be said. I would have said this. I stand by everything I said. And if you guys want to dissect it your way, have at it. Who'd you mean? You heard what I said. I don't have to owe you. I don't owe you anything. But you know what they don't want? They don't want an adversarial quarterback. You know, I was going to say something, but I better not. I just wonder. Better not go there. People start getting all upset. See, Hurts has got to be a little different than everyone else. Can't start making waves. And be the angry quarterback. Is there a football game this week? Is there a football game? Just curious. Why would you defend all your actions last week when defending it makes you look dumber? Why would you defend it? I just wonder. Jalen Hurts. Can't be perceived as the angry quarterback. They made him walk back a comment. Hurts has proven he can be the guy with competent play calling. Yeah. This new staff hasn't proven a damn thing. Wentz 2.0. Right. Once Frank left, they hired inferior people around Doug. They didn't give Doug the autonomy that he needed. And they put inferior talent around him. And it was a slow decline. Injuries, all of that. Howie's inability to draft, all of that played a factor in that destruction. All of it. Thank you, Carl. You know what I mean, Carl. Tom Brady says that. You think Tom Brady's apologizing today? No, Brady's got 6 rings. You think Aaron Rodgers is saying that today? Apologizing? Absolutely not. You think any of those guys, any franchise quarterbacks? Oh my God. Do we, hey, do we have, unbelievable. Okay. Hey, look at what, you want to hear something crazy? Sam Howell's having a better year than Jalen Hurts. Sam Howell. He is having a better passing year than Jalen Hurts. 650 attempts he's trending to, 420. Both numbers way above him. Right around where Hurts is in completion percentage. He's going to throw for 4,300 yards. Sam Howell. 23 touchdowns, same as Jalen. Turnovers, too, the same as Jalen. Eric Bieniemy. Kudos to you. You put a competent guy around a guy, and look what happens. Eric Bieniemy has done more. Get this. You want to hear this? Eric Bieniemy has done more in 1 year in Washington than the 2 Super Bowl wins in Kansas City and working with Andy Reid than any time in his career to land a head coaching job. I would be appalled if he doesn't get an opportunity, and not those charade of interviews. As a matter of fact, I don't want Bozo Sirianni and those kind of guys who know how to do the interview. I want guys who give the uncomfortable interview. I don't want guys who are going to say the right thing that you want to hear. I want to have a guy in my building that's going to do the right thing. You see, that's what you have in Philly. You have people that know what to say and say the right thing. You don't have people in the building that do the right thing. There's a complete difference in mentality with that. Sam Howell, you took a later round draft choice and turned this guy into a quarterback that's having a better passing year than Jalen Hurts. Look at it. Sirianni has no respect with the fans. He lies to our faces. He'll get run out of town. Don't worry. Howie will start that train real soon because he needs a guy to land on. Remember, your coaches are expendable. I've been telling you that since day one. That guy fires coaches. Every one of the coaches that you've had since 2000 have had winning seasons, and they've all been blown out because the front office wants complete control. Imagine that. I can't think of a franchise in NFL history outside of the Steelers that their coaches haven't had a losing record. Think about that. In the last 23 years, you've never had a coach with a losing record overall. Overall, you've never, even Chip had a winning record overall as a head coach in Philly. Even Chip. Even Chip. See, again, let me ask you this. Is there more chaos now than there was with Chip? You think there's more chaos now? Who had the most chaos? Chip, Doug, or now Nick? Nick's not going to dig his way out of this. It's never going to get better. Now you're going to win against these shitty teams, but it'll be over. Your guillotine's coming in the postseason, so don't worry about it. You'll feel good for about 2 weeks, and then you'll get your head chopped off, and it'll be the end of it. Sills, I must admit, when I first started watching, I couldn't stand you, but I must admit, you are the realest, bro. Can't be angry. Thank you, Nicole. It's exactly right. You know what I'm talking about, what hurts. See, when you're a black quarterback in the NFL, you got to act differently than white quarterbacks. That's a fact. But then again, if you're black in this country, you have to act differently if you want to get ahead. If you say anything that's contradicting, you're an angry black guy. If you're a guy who fights back against management, you're Tom Brady. That's not a theory. That's not a theory. Okay? It's not a theory. I still hate Sills, but in a good way. I actually like that way, JoJo. Hey, I hate Sills, man, but it's in a good way. And maybe that's why my wife looks at me too. Yeah. Right? I used to say this stuff on the radio, and they used to get my shit about it. I mess up one time in a phrase like Nick does or Jalen did, and I say something using poor words, and I get castrated for 14 years. And I've been a proponent my whole life for speaking truth. Remember something, friends. Before I take a time out, I don't have black friends. I have friends. Anybody who does that, it's code for see. I have black friends too. See? Every time I hear that, I'm like, that guy's a racist. Okay. The guy wants you to know so bad he's got some brothers as friends. Congratulations to you. Hey, welcome to the world. Welcome to the world. All right. Oh, my God. We have so much to get to. Hey, by the way, can somebody please do something for me about some of the people in your media world? Stop trying to decipher like you need a UN translator what Nick meant and trying to say he didn't mean that, even though he said that. Okay? Just not report. I don't report on anything. LJ's right about one thing. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a media guy. Well, I am a media guy, but I'm not a reporter or journalist. None of that. I've never been. I went to journalism school at Miami, but I'm not a journalist. Okay? I'm totally not that. Okay? I'm more of an entertainer kind of guy. Okay? Just not. I just happen to know a ton of people. Okay? All right. Our good friends. It is December. And our friends at Hooters have a great opportunity for you guys to go into the locations. By the way, you see our great promotion we have. Do all the things that you need to do. Tone's going to be sending around the code word throughout the program. You email us at dansilioshow@gmail.com. You can win yourself some gift certificates. And you'll be named on Monday of Football Money. There's the email. All you have to do is email us your information, and you may hear your name called on a Monday, like Rhonda and Brian, this week's winners for our great merchandise and also our gift certificates. And it is the holidays here in December, and the Santa Bucks are back, $5 stocking stuffers, man. These make great gifts. The calendars are out, 2024. $100 in coupons are there for you inside the calendars. You can also go to HootersToGo.com. Hey, man, we have so many great specials. Lunch specials, Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 3 p.m., boneless wings. Seafood Sundays, half price on stone crabs, steamers, buffalo shrimps. Military Mondays, 20% all day for our men and women who serve this country. Don't forget also, kids eat for free on Saturdays. NortheastTutors.com. That's NortheastTutors.com. Bottom of the hour, our good friend Tone's going to join us. We will talk to him, get his thoughts on how he has seen this crazy-ass 10 days for a team that had everything going in the right direction. You know, now they've run ashore. Can they go back out to sea and do something? We'll do all that next. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Shop, have a beer. Christmas shopping shouldn't be hard. Give your friends a Hooters gift card.
This year, stuff their stockings and yours too with a one-size-fits-all gift card. Buy a $25 Hooters gift card and receive a $5 Santa's bonus card. Make it Hooters for the holidays.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Gift cards are here. Good at Hooters everywhere now. Hooters gifts are always favored.